Hello and welcome to DC Figures and Collectibles. My name is Tyler G of Batman Figs on Instagram, and I am joined as always by my co-host all the way from Stoke-on-Trent, England, and you can find him on Instagram at the.batfan. And his name is Scott. Scott, how you doing?
Hello to everybody listening, and I'm doing good, Tyler. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Awesome.
And we're both fresh off of seeing a new movie that came out this weekend.
Yes,
that we're going to be talking about, as well as with the toys, the new figs, if we got anything. What's going on with the figures?
Yeah, what is going on with the figures?
So,
in all seriousness,
anything from that you got in the post? Anything new?
Absolutely nothing whatsoever. No,
Nothing
this week. Just still kind of waiting on the McFarlane stuff to come out, and it's really not a lot happening, to be honest. It's been pretty quiet. How about you?
Now, I've been tempted. I mean, the only thing I got new was, and I think I told you earlier in the week, I bought the duplicates of the Rogues pack, but that's just to hold on in case wear and tear on the ones I have break and I need to bring in a substitute for the pictures. But other than that, there isn't really anything that I've seen is worth getting. And I mean, I want to get stuff, but I haven't seen any McFarlane stuff anywhere.
Yeah. It's not for
Have you
tried. No, absolutely nowhere whatsoever. It's not released in the UK. I've seen Amazon now put 17th of February as the date on there. I think it's the Batgirl figure, so that wave's coming out the 17th of February in the UK, because Amazon are usually one of those companies that never commits to an actual day until it's 100% nailed on that it's going to come out on that day. So, but everywhere else is just saying early February on release dates for the UK, so God knows what's going to happen. It could be November. Who knows? They just keep pushing it back all the time. So who knows? But yeah, hopefully.
That's a bummer because they started off so strong this year, being released. Well, at least here anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand the hold up. You've had plenty of time to prepare for it, like more than plenty of time. You've had literally a year to get these figures ready to go out on the shelf. So just hurry up. I don't see what the hold-up is. I really don't get it. And
then also, I just think they dropped the ball on the first movie tie-in, really, to start out the year with Birds of Prey. Yeah. You even showed that you had a Harley Quinn in the making. How is it not released yet?
I know, yeah, they did. Unless it was some sort of thing where they have to wait till after the movie's released, but I find that hard to believe. It's just get the figures out there, basically. But, yeah, very strange.
Well, we'll get more into McFarlane and the next sort of stuff later, but in terms of photos for the week,
yes,
this is from this past week for episode Almost Got Him.
Oh yeah, Almost Got Him. That was a blast doing that episode last time.
It was. Now, how long did this setup take?
About sort of, I want to say about an hour, maybe more than an hour.
Really?
Yeah, it did take a while, that one. I'm not going to lie. It did take a while. So,
I absolutely love the little coins and all that you have on there.
Thank you. That's Playmobil coins. I got the cards off eBay, and then the table is some green matte card that I just cut out into as well. I sort of got a Mezco, I think it was the Mezco Darkside base. I scored around it with the scissors, then cut it out. And use that as the green cloth for the table.
That's smart.
But yeah, it took a while. The background is a blue. It's one of my blue Nike t-shirts that I pegged onto my bed, stretched out and pegged it onto my bed. They just put like an iPhone yellow light coming behind Joker, because in that scene there's a light that's quite low on the table. I didn't manage to find anything as a prop for a light, which I was a little bit annoyed with, but I just used a yellow iPhone light instead coming up behind Joker.
You know what's funny is you cite Playmobil a lot for accessories, and I've started to see them and take notice of them more when I go in the toy store and I look, and I'm tempted sometimes to get them.
Yeah, they're brilliant. They are brilliant. It's like Playmobil don't always scale well with their own stuff, so it works quite nicely for like the 112 figures. I've got loads of stuff like computers. I've even got a safe, which I might have to use in a picture actually. That's Playmobil. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, that was good fun.
This we have to look at because it's just a beautiful shot, and I also love the fact that this is also a little customization to it. as well. Put your own spin on it.
Yeah, so Kevin of at Renke Customs helped me get this figure, and he did some very, very cool grey hair on the side of Superman's head, and this is a brilliant figure. Jason of at JNL Toys, he absolutely killed this one. Fantastic.
Is it still as hard to find?
It is. I mean, it's certainly in the UK anyway. I think he got it for like $17 in the US, just loose as a figure. But in the UK, it's just non-existent, that figure at all. Like, it never even came into stores here. It was just sold out instantly.
Just like absolutely. Most Multiverse.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I hope McFarlane don't fall into that. Please hurry up.
You can never get tired of any shot like this, but you managed to catch the sunlight at the perfect time, right?
Cheers, yeah. I mean, this was just before sunset, like just before, and we're probably talking like 4 o'clock UK. So I went down to a local place near me, and it's like a park and grass in the background. There's a great big crack in the road, so I could rest my camera down in the middle of it and put a cloth under it to keep it clean. And propped the camera up, and then just put all the figures on the edge of where the crack in the road is, and creates a nice low angle to make it look like standing on the edge of a cliff or whatever.
Now, did you feel like you were in a race against time to try to get them all stood up in time to hit the sunlight?
Yes, that and to avoid getting run over.
You can tell that it's not, you didn't just stand them up, because Flash is like perfectly posed, and all of them, I mean, they're hard figures to pose, so.
Well, with figures like that, what I tend to do is it sounds a little bit strange and people aren't going to probably understand what I'm on about here, but I try to pose them before I go out of the house. So I'll get them in a certain pose I want, rest them on the car seat. As soon as I pull off, I'll just get the figures balanced correctly, and then that's it. I'm sorted. I mean, they're all kind of basic poses, really, but that was sort of the limitations the animated figures put on you, especially when they're on like hard ground outside. It's not particularly smooth. It's difficult to sort of angle them, and anyone who's got these figures, yourself included, will know that they don't always stand up the best.
Yeah, I was about to say, basic poses on these are like, that's just top level skill.
Because the ankle pivots on them don't exist. So,
especially that Superman, which you had to do different customizations to with the gloss.
Superman, yeah, the floor gloss. I need to do that again on him because his hips are seriously going. He's getting old. Superman is. Yeah, he's getting old. Superman. He needs.
I really wanted to highlight this shot.
Okay, yeah, that one was. So
I love the angle, how low it is, or how the looking up it is, high up.
Thank you. Yeah, I've tried to just do something a little different. So there's a Warden's Tower that is in Knipersley Reservoir Park near to me. I've mentioned it a few times on this podcast, I know. And there's a Warden's Tower near there, so I posed him on the edge of the tower. And I just thought the grass looked quite nice. It's sort of very similar to those scenes that you see in the Capullo comic, where he's sort of sitting on the edge. It looks just
like that cover. Like, you could imagine him sitting right here too.
Yeah, I wish that figure had more articulation, because I definitely do that. But yeah, I love this figure so much. It's brilliant. I haven't taken a picture of it for ages, and it was about time I did, because it's just such a cool figure. It really is. It's fantastic.
Now, it's cool seeing this taken, because you don't see this taken much of. This new version of Freeze with this, mainly because people hate it, but also because it's also hard to put these all in.
It is, isn't it? It's hard to balance him as well. I had to use blue tack to keep him stood up in this. But randomly last week, while I was off work, I was watching through the Vengeance Batman game, and I hadn't played this game or rewatched through it since I was probably about maybe I want to say about 12, maybe something like that, or 11. So I randomly just watched through it, and I something you don't really realise as a kid, but how good the story is in that. The Batman Vengeance story is fantastic, and that inspired a couple of pictures, one of which is these. I'll upload the other one soon, but
good.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant with Dr. Evers in it, how he portrays Mr. Freeze with Joker, and yeah, it's an absolutely bloody brilliant story. So recommend anyone just to watch over it for the story. It's absolutely brilliant, and you can see in that game so many elements of where the Arkham games were inspired in terms of the gameplay and the things you can do in it. So yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, the Batman animated series never lacked in story, that's for sure.
Yeah, and to get all the voice cast together for that game as well, brilliant.
Now, talk us through this one. This one is absolutely just stunning. It feels like you're in a sewer. Look at that.
Okay, so this picture's been in the works for a long time. I'm not going to lie. When Kevin secured the final turtle, which was Mikey, and he posted it over to me. So massive thanks to Kevin about Ringy Customs again. Posted those over to me. I knew what I was going to do with these figures straight away. So there's again, it's in Naples, the Reservoir. It's an amazing place. There's a massive old tractor engine that's on a plinth there, and inside it just looks like a perfect sewer. This is the inside of it. It's just absolutely perfect. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I've got to do the Turtles picture when they enter the sewer from the Mutant Ninja Turtle v Batman movie. It had to be done. It's just a perfect location for it. I had done a picture with Batman and Green Lantern ages and ages ago in the tunnel, and used it as like a Kalanorian tunnel. So yeah, I had to use it again for that. I knew straight away. First time I saw it, I was like, I've got to use that for the Turtles. It's perfect.
Well, it's also rare to see anything usually outside of Batman from you too. So seeing Turtles was pretty cool.
Yeah, they had to get a solo shot. They deserve it. They're great figures, and I just love that everybody else hates them. So everyone I see slates the Turtle figures. Like all the Turtle fans hate them. They love the NECA ones, so I just had to do it to annoy them.
Now this is just cool because I love how you matched up scale-wise the shot and not the building itself.
Cheers.
It's just really awesome.
Cheers. Yeah, that's in Burslem. That's near to me. It's literally like being in 1989 Gotham. It honestly is. I'm not joking. All the buildings are just so old, and they're absolutely beautiful to take pictures in front of. But I think some of the local residents sort of trying to steal a car because I was literally in between two cars there. And they can't quite, so they thought I was up to something dodgy, but I was just taking a picture of Joker in the middle of the street.
That's pretty funny. You didn't say anything to him? You didn't even acknowledge him?
Nah, no, just people that walked past and looked at me strange. Oh well, they just get on with it. But
it's nice seeing this from you.
Oh yeah, finally got around to taking a picture of the Bat Cycle. It was about time. I was going to use that picture for the.
I love seeing even here in the corner a fish.
Yes. No, I was going to use that for the Iconic Heroes picture for the previous weekend theme, but I decided to keep it and just use it as a regular post instead. Yeah.
And speaking of themes.
Yes.
This is the beginning of this weekend's theme.
Yes, it is indeed. Of the Crime Boss weekend.
And how fitting.
Yes.
You have both of these guys in one picture.
Yes, indeed. No, they're both brilliant, and we'll be talking about both of these characters in this week's episode. And yeah, I had this picture since Christmas and just never got around to uploading it, so it's been there ever since. I'm not used it, so I thought, I'll use it for this weekend. It's the perfect chance. Arkham Origins is basically a war between these two, so yeah, definitely wanted to keep that.
I really love how you just matched the lighting because it's backlit, so I imagine that would have been a little bit of a challenge, but that looks great.
It was tricky. I mean, I took this picture very, very early on when I was getting used to the camera, so it's not 100%, but it's not too bad. It's okay.
Not at all. And then, of course, classic Burtonverse crime bosses.
Burtonverse crime bosses. Brilliant characters.
It's amazing how good this Mattel figure is.
Honestly, it is. That sits next to a Mezco and doesn't look out of place whatsoever. It's amazing.
Now, is this a screen or is this a Dio?
It's a Dio. Yeah, it's a new Dio. It's a new Dio that I got.
That looks great.
You could probably see it better. I did another picture of the Keaton Batman. You could probably see it a little bit better in that picture. But and then I got a printed background of the '89 Gotham. I've had that for a while, but just not really.
Here we go.
Need to use it. Yeah, that's the one. So
These
I've
great
got a few.
pillars and the Obey posters.
Yeah, just loads of graffiti everywhere. It just when I saw the Dio on eBay, it just reminded me of the '89 Gotham so much, and I was like, I got to get this because it's perfect for that figure. It's one of my favorite figures, and yeah, so decided to get the Dio, and just it's got such cool angles, which we'll probably see more of next week.
Any excuse that you could have to shoot this guy more will allow it.
I've got one more picture of him to do next week, so.
And then talk about great timing again.
Yeah,
this is perfectly fitting for this weekend.
Yeah, I took this last night, and yeah, it's a brilliant.
I love this version of it even more than the movie.
Thank you, that's kind. And I really love these figures. They're all three of them are brilliant, and don't photograph them enough, so it's a good excuse to do it.
It's nice to see Zaz getting his moment.
It is, yeah. And I had that background of my alibi for ages and wanted to use it to finally nick that background for this picture.
And this is 2 of 5, so we got more this weekend. So if you're not following and you're not tuning in, you need to be.
Yeah, and someone requested a picture of Red Hood, which you'll definitely get to see.
He's a crime boss, that's for sure. Especially
when he first shows
up.
And he says it himself. He doesn't stop crime; he controls it.
Oh man, I still love the animated movie.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Which is what I definitely watched some clips of that before watching Birds of Prey to see how Black Mask was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which I can't wait to talk.
Yes. Well, you mentioned Birds of Prey is a character that you've taken a picture of this week for the POV episode.
Ah, yes.
With Renee Montoya. Bullock. 2 great figures, 2 side characters that are absolutely perfect. And you managed to keep Harvey's head on in that picture as well, which is the most impressive part of that picture, I've got to say.
Yes, I had to be very precise with the hot glue to get it just on the ball joint part of the joint. And luckily, I could still move the head around with it sticking in there, thankfully. As of now.
That was brilliant. Yeah, that picture's brilliant.
And that Montoya figure, do you have her?
I do.
Okay, yeah. It's like so hard to take a bad picture of her. She's just a really good figure.
Might have to take a solo picture of her one day because she looks really cool.
You got to. She's so cool. I love that she comes with 2 head skulls, the hat, and just the regular version.
And it'll infuriate everybody who couldn't get her out of the latest wave. But no, I love that one. Where's the other picture that I did see this week that I really liked as well? Where am I looking here? This one, there we go. Brilliant. I love that picture.
Ah, yes,
Alfred tailoring Batman's new cowl and tailoring his new
classic
cape.
One.
Yeah, that is the Alfred I remember growing up. So yeah, he's fantastic.
With the sewing machine I got from Michael's.
It's brilliant, and the bank Dio in the background again with the brilliant bookcase. It's fantastic.
Oh, I love that bookcase.
Yeah, it looks absolutely brilliant. This is also as well. I wanted to mention this because I think that figure looks really good together. The Crane figure.
I thought so too, just with how skinny the figure is with the head.
Yeah, it fits really, really well, and it also starts a new mini series that you're going to be doing.
Oh yes, and I actually am really looking forward to that. And it's also given me an excuse to get my accessories more arranged and in order and all together. So the new series I'm doing is I'm comparing and contrasting any figure that was made in both the BTAS form and the new Batman Adventure form. So like that, Riddler and new Riddler. And even though he's only in 1 episode, he got a figure.
Yeah, he did. He was in more Superman episodes than Batman episodes, which was bizarre.
He was in the one where, was it Nighttime?
Yeah, Nighttime.
With Mad Hatter and Bane.
Yeah. Classic episode, that one is. And you mentioned Bane there. Very apt, because you took a picture of Bane this week as well. In fact, you took 2 pictures of Bane this week. Please let
I wanted to make sure to take... I always feel like this guy doesn't get enough usage, so I wanted to take a nice picture of him.
I get serious Dark Knight vibes with this picture. You know, the sort of snow in the city when it's daytime and in the Dark Knight Rises. That really reminds me of that.
Yeah, I wanted, and that's like a pool pump in the back. But I felt like it looks mechanical enough and in scale, so it just looked like an abandoned factory.
No, I love that. I love when you take pictures outside and find these like cool backdrops and stuff.
Like what you've been doing. You've been doing a ton of new outside shots.
I'm trying to. It's freezing, but I'm trying to.
Well, let's enjoy it.
Nice one. And this one as well. Let's have some more Bane.
Ah, yes.
Brilliant picture.
I feel like I got in a Bane and Two-Face mode this week. And that figure doesn't get enough love either. It's a Mafex figure, but it's probably out of all the Mafex figures I have, it's probably the most well done version.
It does look brilliant. You can change the arms on that as well, can't you? And take
take off his coat
off. Yeah, it's really cool. I love that Mafex do stuff like that.
I would have to put a tie between him and my Batman Begins Batman as my favorite Mafex figures.
They're amazing. That Batman Begins one is just unreal, isn't it?
His cape is the best.
Good. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It really is absolutely fantastic. And it was the Two-Face, the aforementioned Two-Face.
Speaking of coins and Playmobil, it's not Playmobil, but I found something that looked like coins.
It definitely does. It's brilliant. I think that's a great pose you put on Batman as well, and anyone who's watched the episode will know why that's a great pose. Yes,
I'm glad that people would pick that up, and I tried to make a Grace out of Supergirl and Lois Lane. It's decent,
fantastic.
I think.
No, I think it looks great. It works perfectly for that picture. I'm trying to look for the other one. Huntress, there it is. I know you used that sort of similar backdrop for the Batman and Superman shot you've done before, which I really loved, and this one looks great as well with Huntress.
I wanted to give her that because you saw the movie and they have a lot of bright fluorescent colors and lens flare and stuff in the movie, so I wanted to get that vibe with her.
Yeah, no, they definitely do, and that comes across brilliantly in this picture. I'd love to know what time of day you took that picture.
That was at 9:45 p.m. here in California.
Cool. What time does it go sunset then at the minute in that like where you are?
Here, it's starting to get a little bit later in the day. We were still in daylight saving because it's winter and it was getting dark around like 5:30, but now it's getting sunsets at like 6:20, 6:30.
Right. Okay. Right. Fair enough.
This was right after I saw the movie, actually.
Oh, nice. Oh, you can tell the passion comes across in that. Really enjoyed that picture. Finally, I managed to buy a Huntress this week, an old DC Collectibles.
You did?
Yeah, I only paid like 14 quid, so it's not too bad. But hopefully, going to get one get her next week.
I hope we get a
fantastic figure.
Too. Yeah, she was my favorite character from the movie. I thought she was funny.
Yeah, she was pretty good. Huntress was.
I wish we got to see more of her, though. I was depressed about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. And I definitely wanted to mention this one because I just think the smoke effect and the fire is absolutely spectacular.
This one I was really trying to get like perfect because, I mean, we've talked about it on here on the show, and we've talked about it when we're just talking on here. It's like because we do the episodes and you do them with me now when we cover a review, and it's just like sometimes it's hard to get the point across, or sometimes you think, okay, this is going to be a hard episode to shoot. And for me, I've done a bunch of times, so it's just like this one I was like, all right, I got to get at least something different about this episode. And I felt like this was a good time to use also the gas mask because I feel like I don't use that enough.
No,
I also
absolutely.
It's the first time I used the NECA in that way, where I was like, okay, I'm going to have the NECA building where I just put it like that. But I think even now there's a bunch of different ways I could use it where I'm just not being creative enough. I need to start being even more creative.
Yeah, loads of people do so many different things with the NECA dio and mix it up in so many ways. So does it just all like disconnect and reconnect in different ways?
Yeah.
Or this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I've even been debating looking up and getting another one. I wonder if it's still there in Big Bad Toy Store. People have
that'd be cool. You can make your own street if you repaint some of it as well. That'd be absolutely
Hopefully
epic.
we get some Joker figures to go with it.
Yes, that would be good.
Of course, that's probably asking the world at this moment.
So I wanted to conclude with this picture.
Ah, the NECA. All
Yes.
NECA in this photo.
Yeah, the all NECA team. This is brilliant. I know you've done a picture of Batman with the turtles before, but this one's just amazing.
Yeah, the other one was from the other side, and it was coming out from a lower angle, and this one was one that I've had on just hanging on to for a long time.
Really?
And I was like, okay, I'll bust it out this time. Yeah, I have a few more that I have, but I just don't really like. Because, you know, sometimes you hold on to them and think maybe.
Yeah, I do, to be fair. That is true.
But there's just, I look at them, it's like, no, you know, I just can't. But this one was the one that I was like, yeah, this looks decent enough.
Yeah, and I really do like that one. It's brilliant. Those NECA turtles are really, really cool.
They really are. And someone, I think his name's Evil Kim 33 or something. Someone asked, where can you get those turtles? And I said, oh, I don't know if they're still selling them, but apparently NECA's going to re-release them soon. So those of you listening, watching that want them and missed out before, they're going to re-release them because people keep buying them up. So why waste money?
Oh, that's good. That's actually quite good that they're re-releasing. Mezco take notes. Yeah.
For real. That's nice. Oh, there's a supply and a demand and it's being filled.
Yeah, I think
that's crazy to think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, NECA have a little bit of a history of doing stuff like that because they cancelled all the Batman Predator stuff, didn't they? And then managed to get them released and stuff. So that's actually quite good to see that there is a little bit of fan power out there that can get these things done and get people interested.
I wish that other companies took note.
Yeah, definitely.
DC Collectibles did that.
Yeah, DC Collectibles actually seem to go out their way to go against what people want, which is quite bizarre.
I mean, they could, if they're allowed to re-release figures, and we see that they're going to with different paints, why not release all the rogues and everything again? Because you see that there's a demand for, even like, I looked at the ventriloquist figure because I was like, oh, you know, since I got doubles of figures, I might as well start looking to see if get doubles of others in case they start to break down. The ventriloquist was like over $100 online.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe. I think it was the Man Bat. I only paid about 16 quid, and he's now like, I think it was like 90 the last time I saw. It's actually crazy. I'm gonna have a look now because I'm genuinely interested.
It really does blow my mind. I think even the new Batman Adventure Joker is 33 right now, and he's like one that people hate.
No way.
No, I think he's actually a decent, because he has the hyenas. I think it went up even more.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, the Man Bat figure just doesn't exist anywhere, actually. Wow. Unboxed there, £40 unboxed. That's a lot of money.
For what?
For the Man Bat, that is £40 unboxed. Crazy. That is actually ridiculous. Roxy Rocket's still £7.50. Nobody wants Roxy Rocket. She's still stuck there.
Hey, her accessories are awesome.
They really are. They really are. The bat symbol,
the little guns,
brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. Despite just the
fantastic.
Rocket. The wrench is even cool for different scenes.
Yeah, it actually is. Half of these figures just don't exist whatsoever anymore, or you can't find them on the market. It's madness. Robin's £24. Wow.
Even new Batman Adventure Two-Face was a decent amount, and he sucks.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's actually crazy. I can remember when I broke one of him and I had to pay, I think it was like 30 quid to get him back, and then, like I say, now it's just the price has gone even higher, which is crazy.
Now, we don't have any news of any new figures from McFarlane coming out, right?
No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. I think the only new figure that's been released this week or shown this week is the Mezco Thanos, which is just very boring.
But how bad did it look? To me, it looked like someone tried to do a custom and did their own soft goods around it.
Yeah, it didn't look great. They changed the head sculpt on it, didn't they? The head sculpt does look better, but I do like the light up Infinity Gauntlet. I think that looks good, but the actual figure mean, the actual figure's terrible, really. It just creases all over him, and it doesn't look good. Yeah, it doesn't look great.
It looks like a kit bash to me, but with someone made their own.
Yeah. No, it does. If that Infinity Gauntlet's going second hand on eBay, I might buy it for Darkseid.
I'm sure you could find it at a decent price somewhere.
Yeah, it's good to know that Darkseid is the OG Jack Kirby beast from Mezco still. Yeah, it's a brilliant figure.
I wish they made more nice figures like that and actually released them.
Yeah. It would be cool to see some like really different stuff from Mezco. Like if Mezco made I don't know, something completely different, like the Hellbat or something. I know McFarlane just made it, it's probably a bad example, but just something really wacky and different that got people excited. I think that'd be really cool to see.
Like a Huntress, something crazy like that.
Yeah, or Robin. That would be great if they finally did a Robin. Yeah, and any Robin or Nightwing or Red Hood. I think Red Hood would be a great figure.
A Chris O'Donnell Batman and Robin with nipples.
Oh, could you imagine that? That'd be a great figure. The Hot Toys one looks brilliant.
I would buy it for him.
Yeah, I'd absolutely get it.
You just remove the cape and you got a Nightwing too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, in terms of any other top brands, I don't think there's anything that was announced really.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. Which is
so. We started off hot, but now we're kind of drying up.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot been sort of promised. Mezco have got a few DC figures that they have yet to release. Same with Mafex. Mafex got loads of stuff they need to release. Figure Arts have got that brilliant Birds of Prey Harley Quinn that's coming out in June, I think, and then waiting on the McFarlane stuff. So yeah, 2020 is going to be a great year. It's just we're going to be a little bit patient at the start of it, which is annoying.
Yeah, so the only figure really to tide you over new, if you haven't got it yet, is still that purple Catwoman and the blue Batman, the Nightfall.
Yes. I still haven't seen them in store. I need to go and have a look at them.
Really?
Yeah, I need to go and look at them.
You mean they haven't got? You don't know if they got them, or you just haven't been able?
I don't know. I've just not gone and had a look. Still.
Okay.
I need to go and check it out. But yeah, hopefully they might be tempted to get that Batman.
It's pretty good looking. And someone asked me, does your Batman have 2 left feet too? And I was like, no, but that's funny.
Oh wow.
So
wow.
Again, if you guys are thinking about getting them, just make sure you look at them before you buy them.
Oh grief! Yeah, that's absolutely shocking.
Your Batman have 2 left feet. I was like, no, but he broke it. All right, so are you ready to talk about Birds of Prey?
Yes, let's do it. And
right.
There's going to be none of this watered down crap. We're putting spoiler warnings
everywhere.
Yeah, we're not doing a non-spoiler review because all you can do is give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. Then
yeah,
so we're going to give you a spoiler warning. Anyway, you've had your warning.
You had your.
What did you think of it?
Okay, overall, I thought Margot Robbie, she did a lot better. I liked her in this as Harley Quinn a lot better. I felt like she kept the accent all the way through, which was nice. She seemed to be more animated and like the cartoon version. And I just thought she seemed more interested, and you could tell, well, since she's a producer on the film, she's going to give it her all. So it was nice to know that she was at least invested all the way. I thought she did really good. I thought Black Canary was kind of weak. She got a lot of FaceTime, but it was for nothing.
Yeah.
I really feel like, I mean, even when they did show like she was a good fighter and stuff, they never really explained why she was a good fighter. Like,
yeah.
She's supposed to be like the #1 fighter as a female in DC, Black Canary, and they didn't really do anything to mention that. She only did her Canary Cry once, and they did make it so that, it was draining on her, but still, it's just like she's Black Canary. Come on.
Yeah.
We got to see her powers used. Huntress, I thought was very interesting, and I liked the different parts they did with her. And the first scene they did with her looked a lot like a Boondock Saints movie scene. Then a lot of the flashback stuff with the music they played seemed like Quentin Tarantino stuff, which I liked just visually. And I thought because by the time she comes in, the Harley Quinn stuff, like her shtick kind of gets old, so it's not as comedic. So by the time she shows up, she kind of has some comedic relief to it, like with her lines. It's just kind of funny how serious she is. I do wish both Canary and Huntress would have got more scenes in their costumes. It is nice to see that at the end that they had their full costume.
Yeah.
And I do like that at the end they stuck to the comics and they made this like a one-time only adventure for Harley Quinn with the Birds of Prey, and that they do go off and do their own thing. And that Harley's back doing her own thing, and she's definitely going to be in Suicide Squad 2. I hated Cassandra Cain as a character. Absolutely, she grated on me. The actress was not. I just didn't think it was good. I didn't think her lines are good. I thought she let's make this character say the F word a lot just to be shocking. But I mean, other than that, she had no characterization. Even she wasn't anything resembling the comic book character who was like a daughter to an assassin and deaf and couldn't talk and not a pickpocket thief. And overall, I just didn't like that part. I didn't like that part of the movie. I thought Black Mask, at the beginning, I was really worried. I was like, oh, because he was doing some like dance moves. And I was like, is every day, don't do like too much like the Joker. Don't be dancing too much. But he only did it once or twice. And like I could get past that. But overall, I do like how the littlest thing would just piss him off and he turned into a complete psycho, just like Under the Red Hood, which I really enjoyed that. And I thought he did a great job in doing an American accent and also just being completely in the role. I thought he did a great job. I liked Victor Zsasz with the few nuggets he had, like when he meowed at Harley Quinn and stuff like that. I just thought that was funny. And who else was it? Renee Montoya, I thought they did some good homages to like POV where she turns in her badge. That reminded me of that. And especially with another homage with Harley Quinn, they did the Mad Love when Joker pushed her out the window, of course, and she's falling. And it's like almost the same view that we get from Mad Love. And then another thing that reminded me of a Batman animated series episode is when she keeps trying to hit every button to get the cells out and she's just hitting them over and over. It reminded me of Girls' Night Out when she keeps hitting the ATM with her hammer. Just over and over. That reminded me of that. I love the roller derby stuff because I just thought that was cool and well shot. I just liked how that looked, and she's just punching people too. And again, I thought the action was great. There's stuff at the end where they're at the fun house. It looked kind of it got slow at some points, and it looked like people were just waiting their turn to go attack. But overall, I thought the action was cool, and I did like how even the roller derby stuff at the beginning was set up and it was paid off with her being able to use the roller skates well at the end in chasing down Black Mask. So at least it made kind of sense, even though by how much she was using those roller skates, that rubber would have been melted off those roller skates.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was a fun movie, and anything that is too wacky or anything like that, you could just say, well, it's told from the viewpoint of Harley Quinn. So, I mean, they have an excuse with that. So. Yeah. But the one thing I also like that they didn't beat you over the head with that I thought was really well done was when she had the little dance sequence when she was getting interrogated or she got punched. You could tell that was just her like disassociating from the pain and they didn't have to be like, oh, you are disassociated. It was just a nice little thing. Wasn't too drawn out, but I thought it was well done. Yeah. Overall, my review on YouTube, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's like I said, it wasn't anywhere near Joker, but I liked it a little bit more than the Suicide Squad stuff, just because I felt that stuff was all over the place. I thought this stuff at least had a story that it was like you could follow along. It wasn't cut all crazy like a music video. I didn't really like certain characters in Suicide Squad. Like I didn't like any time Deadshot didn't have his mask on. I just thought that was an excuse for Will Smith to show his face. The best stuff with Suicide Squad I liked was Harley Quinn, so it was nice to get a movie with Harley Quinn and also some different characters. But it also got me excited to see Suicide Squad 2 as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
At least the movies are still progressing forward and we're not still going backwards.
Yeah.
But overall, I would say if it was on TV, I would watch it again, but it's not something that I'm looking for. I would go pay to watch in theater again. So I'd say a solid 7 out of 10 is average.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Yeah, to start off with 7 out of 10, I think is about right. It's like around a 7 or something like that. It's probably fair. I think to start off with an R rating is definitely the way to go now with DC movies because you got the blood and the realistic violence in there, and not the sort of cheap slapstick punching that you get in a Marvel movie. So I think that's definitely the way to go for them from now on. And the Batman movie, I think, is going to be R rated, isn't it? So
that would be awesome.
That's apparently what they've has what been rumored. But to start off with, Harley is amazing. Like Margot Robbie, like encapsulates that character so well, and like you said, the voice thing was just brilliant throughout. She tells the story brilliantly. You know, everything's all over the place with her, which is great. I really did feel like they needed to have a Joker in this movie, and I'm sorry people will find that boring, but I don't care. I think they needed to bring Jared Leto back or get someone new in if they weren't sure. Well, in fact, no, they needed Jared Leto back because they used the scenes from Suicide Squad, so they needed him back.
Yeah, they used direct scenes from the same movie.
Yeah, they did. Which
not even reshot. They just lifted them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which I did kind of like because it's a bit of continuity in there. So
I know
it's a continuation. Yeah, which is brilliant. So I think that's good. I felt like Canary was pretty decent. I think she did a better job than I thought she was going to do. Like visually, you wouldn't necessarily say, "Oh, that's Black Canary," but I think she did a decent job. I do agree about the Canary scream though. Like that was a bit strange. Only that happened once. Huntress, she's okay. I wasn't a massive fan, if I'm honest. I think she needs to be a bit more serious. None of these like cringy things where she's trying to make herself a catchphrase or whatever. I'm not into that. It's just not funny to me personally. Cassandra Cain, I completely agree with. She's just really annoying. She's just annoying me. Like she got too much screen time, in my opinion, and she isn't
way
really
too much. Do we really need to see her over Huntress?
I know, like it's just seeing her go around pickpocketing loads of people is boring. Like just get
or her over a Joker scene.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
or her over more Black Mask. Like, why do we have to see her?
Agreed. Yeah, I don't think we needed to see so much as her as we did. And I feel like the scene in GCPD was dragged out a little bit. It was good, but it was dragged out quite a bit. But Harley was great in that scene. And yeah, I love it when she finds the baseball bat. That's brilliant. That's fantastic. Which also brings us on to that bit at the end when they open the treasure chest in the amusement mile and they got all Harley's old stuff in there, which I like. I think...
you know what the best part about that was?
Was it Montoya that used her old baseball bat from Suicide Squad? I think it was Montoya.
Yeah, and they're all passing it around.
Yeah, it's great. I really like that. It's brilliant.
You know what the best part about the fact that she finds that shirt is that the shirt's not bright white and clean. That's still dirty. It's like at least they weren't that absent-minded where they're like, oh, it's bright white and clean.
Yeah. So which means the Suicide Squad movie now is it has to be a sequel to it for Suicide Squad. They can't rewrite that now. They can't reboot it because Margot Robbie's going to be in it, and it is impossible for them. It has to be a second Suicide Squad.
She points to Captain Boomerang in there and says, "I know."
Absolutely, that absolutely. I thought it was brilliant, and it's fantastic. Really subtle way of linking that movie to this one. I think that was absolutely brilliant. I really liked that. I did feel like in terms of Gotham, it was very Arkham-verse inspired. So you've got things like the amusement mile, which we saw Roman Stanley. He owns it. Same as this movie, Roman Stanley goes and meets them at the end. He owns it in the Arkham-verse, which I think is brilliant. They mentioned Chinatown as well, which is, of course, the place where Scarecrow hides out in Arkham Knight. and Founders Pier as well. Yeah, I've got Founders Island in Arkham Knight, and that's the view that you can see across to Arkham City from in Arkham Knight from Founders Pier.
Those were the parts I loved the most, because it felt like it was a cutscene from like a video game, but with real people. Especially when it's like
brilliant,
doing the Dutch angle and you're panning to Black Mask standing on the car talking to all of those guys in masks. It's like, that is awesome. It feels like you're watching a live action Arkham video, like downloadable content.
Yeah, and it's like when you play the Arkham Origins game, you got all the thugs in masks, and that's what it was like at the end.
I love
which is fantastic. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. And so in terms of villains, Victor Zsasz was brilliant. I really wasn't looking forward to seeing his portrayal of that character, because I didn't think he looked massively like him. But actually, when I watched the movie, when he shows his chest with all the scars on, and you see up close to all the scars on his face, he was brilliant. He was really, really good. I was really impressed with him. And my favourite character in the entire movie was comfortably Black Mask and Roman Sionis.
Nice.
Like, Ewan McGregor absolutely killed it in that role. He was fantastic. He was fantastic. He really was. And that sort of, I don't think he was overly camp, which is what I was really, really liking. You know, he had a serious split personality, from an absolute arsehole of a mob boss to a really sort of dynamic, upstanding sort of guy. And I think that switch was brilliant. It was fantastic. And like you said, he could just turn on a sixpence and change straight away. I thought that was fantastic. We shouldn't be surprised by now with Ewan McGregor, but it was brilliant. It really was. He did an absolutely fantastic job. And that scene at the end when he put the black mask on, and you could just tell he was going to business. And when he got to the amusement mile and he did that speech, it just serious, like Arkham Origins flashbacks with that gruff, angry voice, you know. And he
it sounded so good.
And when he tells the girl to get on the table as well and stuff, brilliant.
My whole theater felt uncomfortable. You could just feel the tension in there. It was still like, what is he gonna do? I mean,
he was amazing, which brings me on to the biggest problem I have with this movie, which is that they killed him. Why would you do that?
That's my big problem.
He was unbelievable, and the way they did it
pisses
as well,
me off.
It would be that absolute brat Cassandra Cain that does it as well. God, it's so annoying.
It pisses me off too, because like, is that the only way you're able to get him? Because you're like, oh, we'll only do a one-off movie. Oh, that's it. Why?
Disappointing.
You did so good. I guarantee you had a fun time playing the role. Why would you want to do it just one time?
I would love to see like another movie after that with like Ewan McGregor as Black Mask and Leto as Joker, fighting for like the underworld with Harley Quinn involved,
with
and some
Penguin
of the
and
cast coming back. Yeah, I think that would be a brilliant movie. Really gutted that they killed him off at the end. I'd love to see Ewan McGregor as Black Mask again, 100%.
And they killed Zsasz.
Zsasz was brilliant. Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. But I just found it really disappointing that there wasn't a Batgirl in there again. I know this is long-standing things, and you know, I hate the idea of Batman being missing from all these movies. It's Gotham City. He would be involved in there somewhere. You wouldn't allow someone like Huntress, who's supposed to be in the sort of, or in and around the Bat family. He wouldn't allow that to happen, her going around and just slaughtering people left, right and centre, which is what I didn't like about Huntress.
Especially if she's just riding around on a motorbike. It's not going to be getting away from that.
Yeah, exactly. And
especially if you got a license on it, it's like, okay, that's not going to be hard to find you. Your vehicle's registered. Yeah.
I mean, anytime people try and explain it by Batman's been missing for years, I hate it. Hate it so much. Batman would never leave Gotham like that for years. It just wouldn't happen. So if anyone tries to use that excuse, I'd be like, no, don't buy it. It's a load of rubbish. It wouldn't happen. Unless you physically kill Batman, then you will not see him go missing for years. It won't happen.
It would have been nice if they were somehow working a cameo, but
yeah, it's a shame. Although Batman,
I don't think they're that creative.
Although Batman did sort of get a mention in the movie at the very. Did you see the end credits on it?
No, I didn't stick around, but I did hear that she does say, "Oh, you still stuck around?" And she says, "Batman is," and then it cuts off.
Yeah, it says Batman is, and it cuts off. So something beginning with F is what she says at the end of the movie. So God knows. Nobody knows what that's going to be, or we'll probably never find out now, given that the Ben Affleck Batman doesn't exist in that universe anymore, it seems.
Yeah, you know what? Another thing that bugs me, and I don't know if most people will think of this, but I feel like the only reason they did one hyena is because it cost too much to animate 2 hyenas.
Mm.
That's the only reason I feel like they did 1 hyena. So I do like they're a little lazy at that.
It was very.
It probably cost them like $10 million just to animate that Bruce hyena.
Yeah.
So I understand that.
Yeah, I would rather not have him and save 10 million and get a Joker actor instead. That would have been better.
Exactly.
So disappointed about that, and I'm not bothered if people think it's a boring thing to say. But yeah, I think they needed a Joker just in there somewhere, in the film. Yeah.
If they were smart, they would have done it anyway, even regardless of Joaquin's success, because if you're going to say Joker's going to be in there, everyone's going to want to go see it anyway to compare and contrast and all that. So it would draw a lot of people.
Yeah. I'm just so angry that they killed Sionis. That's my biggest problem with this film. They shouldn't have killed him. No way.
That's when I out loud, why? Leia?
Yeah.
Why?
When that happened, I was just like, oh, for God's sake, why does these movies always have to end with the villain like getting blown up or something? Like, why did they do that?
And they think it's cool just because it was graphic. It's like, we don't care. We wanted to see more of them.
Can you imagine, like, he's really vengeful in like another movie because they've killed Zaz, and he's absolutely furious, and then he blames it on the Joker with Harley Quinn, and they have to fight against. They have to like come together to fight against Sionis, and I think that'd be brilliant. That'd be a great movie. And we could have Batgirl come into it as well to try and stop it, and the war birds of prey have to return to stop the war. I think it'd be brilliant. Why would they? I don't know, just infuriating. But yeah, in terms of like Margot Robbie and everything, I love the movie. She did a fantastic job. Yeah, she did a fantastic job. But
there is one thing I would love to eventually see, and I don't know if we'll ever see it. We did get to see the animated version of it at the very beginning, but I would love to see her again in full. I mean, we get to see it one little time in Suicide Squad, but I would love to see her full animated get-up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Maybe. Do you think we will see a Birds of Prey only movie?
Nah, I don't think so. No, if we do, then they've got to seriously look at some key decisions. So they've got to bring Oracle or Batgirl in there. I think that's a must. They've got to change Cassandra Cain because she's just boring.
She's awful.
And I think they've got to bring in a good villain as well. A really good villain. Why did they kill Black Mask? I'm furious about that. Genuinely furious about that. So stupid. It really is.
The funny thing is like seeing Black Canary at the end in her outfit, and then seeing Huntress in her outfit, and seeing Renee Montoya in like a 3-piece blazer. Like, it's like, what is she doing?
Yeah. It is a bit strange, isn't it?
Like, we need Batgirl in there. That just looks odd.
I'm glad it wasn't overly sort of like sort of radical feminist theme. I'm glad it wasn't like that. I'm really pleased about that. Although I did get sick of hearing about the promotions with Montoya and stuff. That got boring.
Oh yeah. That. But I think they're trying to lean into the fact that that's very cliche.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's what they're. But I do know what you mean. I'm glad that, because I was seeing a bunch of stuff and a bunch of videos popping up on my YouTube feed. Were like, oh, this is so feminist. And I remember that they were saying that about Wonder Woman too. But then you see Wonder Woman, it's like, this doesn't beat me over the head with anything. This is just like the comics.
Wonder Woman's the perfect example of sort of accurate feminism. Wonder Woman is. I think that's the perfect example. A perfect way of displaying feminism and not being sort of over the top, in your face, we're better than you, way. If that makes sense. I think Wonder Woman's perfect for that. And
And now we have her film to look forward to.
I was just going to say, seeing that trailer on the big screen and hearing that music for waiting for Birds of Prey to come on was unreal. Really can't.
You got to see that trailer before? See, I didn't get to see it. I'm jealous.
Yeah, that just hearing that and seeing that on the big screen, that movie is going to be epic. It really is.
I can't wait. Now, going from those birds to a different bird, we got something else to cover.
Yes.
And we are going to be covering Birds of a Feather, which is a Penguin episode from Batman. And it is right after Almost Got Him, so we get 2 Penguin episodes kind of back to back, which is rare. And in this one, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of it?
Well, this is one I can remember. So I've talked about it a few times, but when I rebrought a video from eBay when I was sort of 10, I think. And this was one of the episodes on there, along with If You're So Smart, Why Aren't You Rich, The Laughing Fish, and then might have been Christmas with the Joker on there, and then there was this one as well, Birds of a Feather, that was on the disc, and on the cassette. And I quite like this episode. I can't say it's my favourite, but it's a good episode. And
it's a decent Penguin episode.
Society is to blame.
Hi, society.
Hi, society.
So the episode opens and it shows Penguin just ransacking some museum. He's looking at paintings and commenting on which one are his favorites. And he's one of the victims is tied up to a chair. And he's looking at just a picture. Sorry, that didn't even. Was that English? He's looking at pictures of ducks and that sort of thing. Penguin tries to keep a high-class image even while he's doing all the robbing in front of the guy. And Batman eventually arrives and stops him. And the next time we see Penguin, he's in jail, correct?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
After some time. And he's getting the guard comes up to him and asks him what he's going to do when he's out. Penguin says that he's decided he's going to finally, after all this time, go straight. He's learned his lesson, and he says, "Oh, it won't be hard, and I'll just rejoin my elite society, my friends. They'll be waiting for me." And eventually, the day comes where he's free, and he says, "Oh, no doubt, a limo will be waiting." And he goes out there, and there's nothing but public transportation and a mean lady saying she's got somewhere else to be if he doesn't want to get on the bus.
Yeah, that seems funny.
I think it's all pretty funny. It's also funny to show how delusional Penguin is. You really don't get an insight until right now how delusional it is.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it is a good first opening act, that one. It's quite funny, and the fact that Penguin he seems genuinely so determined to change his ways when he comes out of prison. He doesn't want to go back in, but you can tell he's annoyed when the guard mentions about the paper headlines of him being released, and that the guards sort of jibes at him. You could tell that he's getting pretty annoyed by that. But so while all that's going on, we see Pierce and Veronica Vreeland throwing a party, and they notice about Penguin in the paper, saying they haven't had a good hit since the Joker crashed their party, and that got them some headlines. So when they see Penguin getting released as a headline in the paper, they're like, "Oh, there's an interesting opportunity there," and they very sort of heartlessly want him to join the party. But before they contact him, Penguin arrives back at his apartment where he thinks he's got an entourage waiting for him, which isn't quite the case. Someone is waiting for him, which is Batman. Probably not what he was expecting or what he wanted. In fact, he probably was expecting it, let's face it. But Batman's sort of, very in a dark way, sort of half threatens him, saying, "Wherever you go, I'll be right behind you." And
that would freak me out.
Yeah. And the Penguin just sort of very pompously said, "Oh, that's where you belong."
That's where you belong.
Which I quite enjoy. He's saying, "Oh, he's reformed now," and all this. And,
haven't you heard?
Yeah.
I love when he shows up to a Joker, old boy, Croc, Two-Face, like thinking everyone's gonna be there. No, just Batman.
Just absolutely nobody there whatsoever other than Batman.
And with Batman saying that wherever he goes, I'll be there. It gives me the same anxiety I feel like I would have as the guy that Riddler is trying to chase down.
Yeah.
At the end of that,
yeah,
I wouldn't be able to sleep knowing Batman's everywhere.
But yeah, I think that's a pretty cool scene as well. And Batman heads off into the night and leaves Penguin on his own in a very dusty, old-looking flat that hasn't been looked after very well while he's been out.
Yeah, and I also love the scene that you talked about earlier. Just it shows the snobby rich people, the rich guy with Veronica Vreeland, and talking about how Joker robbed the party, and it's just funny seeing how much they don't care because they're so rich. Like it doesn't really matter if Joker. Oh, it's entertainment.
No, that guy's voice is
since Riddler time.
I mean, they cast that voice so well because he is just so annoying. And I hate Veronica Vreeland as well. I'm not going to lie. I can't stand her in the animated series.
It's amazing that's why she's good.
Yeah, that's why she's good because I hate her so much, but she's a great character because I think she's there to be hated.
Now, it's right after Batman leaves is when Penguin gets a phone call from Veronica, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Not long after. And that's where she starts fishing to try to find out if she could get him. She's going to start trying to woo him. And she basically asks if he's available to have dinner, and he obliges and says he's free. And I'm sure that tickles his fancy because he already feels like people should be waiting for him everywhere he goes. And now he actually has someone that is wanting to see him. So
yeah,
it's fitting for him. And they go out to a restaurant, and Penguin is he's very pompous and he's being loud, and he's already he's a deformed penguin-looking man, and he's being loud and making jokes, and he's eating fish whole and just making everyone in the restaurant uncomfortable. And Veronica Vreeland just trying to pretend like she could stand him, and of course he doesn't really notice any that she would be there for any other reason than just to be in his presence because he's so enchanting. And then the waiter eventually comes up and asks, like, "Are you guys ready to leave?" And he says yes. And he asks how much he asks how much it will be. He's like, "Don't worry, like I'll pay." And he's like, "No, like we will gladly. Like it's on us if you'll just leave, just get out of here." Because I'm sure it's affecting their business and just him being there.
Yeah, it's when those guests walk in and they're like, "Oh no, thanks, we've already been robbed once this year."
Yeah, that's funny.
All four of them walk out, and it's brilliant when he says that. You know, with respect, you know, just leave. It's brilliant that scene. I like that.
And then from there, we see Penguin and Veronica. They're leaving the restaurant. He's walking her home, and all of a sudden, three thugs show up, and they think they're trying to rob Penguin, but Penguin very valiantly stands up for Veronica and himself, and he uses his umbrella as he would against Batman, and uses as a weapon against these guys, and is able to take them on. Batman arrives and helps take him down because he thinks that Penguin is with the thugs. Look at that loving couple.
Yeah. If only it lasted forever.
If only. And Batman's able to take him down, but he thinks that Penguin's part of him. And Veronica stands up for him and says, "No, like they were trying to attack us." And Batman even is shocked, and he allows them to go free. Yeah,
he leaves them to it. Batman's very surprised when Veronica tells him that it was not actually him that does it. He doesn't. I don't think he quite believes her even when she says it. Which is quite funny. Batman just flies in and takes the Penguin out straight away with the rope, which I think was brilliant. But yeah, like you say, Veronica defends Oswald, and Veronica then decides to tell Penguin about coming into the party, and Bruce overhears them talking about it. Presumably, what would be the next day? Pierce.
Veronica
talking about it.
Like an art museum.
And they're talking about it, and Bruce says, "Oh, you need to be careful with that kind of
company." Who are you hanging out with, Veronica?
Yeah. He has got such a horrible voice, hasn't he? Very sort of monotonous. Yeah. So then after that we see Penguin head to the opera with Veronica. Which is so horrendous hearing his singing voice when he's up on the balcony.
Pagliacci.
Yeah, and then from the other side of like the opera hall, I think it's brilliant. You can see Pierce laughing at him and Veronica together, and then Wayne is in the next sort of private box, and he's just angry. You can tell what's going to happen. He knows it's going to be a really bad situation at some point. Penguin's, he's a master criminal. Eventually, he's going to work out what's going on, and that he's just being used for some newspaper headlines, which it's kind of sad in a way.
It is.
It is quite sad.
And what's odd is the parallels at this episode. He's at an opera and he's being used and he's being laughed at and he's in a way he's not thinking or he's not even aware of. He's at an opera, and it just reminds me of kind of like Joker in a way, because Joker has a scene where he's at an opera and he's watched. It's interesting. It's not exactly the same, but it has some same touches.
It does, yeah. It has quite a few parallels, to be fair.
And then where do we go from there?
Yeah, so after we see that, the Penguin goes to the party, and he makes a joke about the locks here. He hopes the locks are better, otherwise you'll be at a loss for funds like you were last time. So obviously we hear about the history there, and everyone's sort of like completely taken back by the fact that the Penguin's there. So he's already having the desired effects that the Veronica and Pierce wanted. Bruce goes to speak. Bruce goes to speak to Oswald, and he mentions about giving her this penguin, like sort of gold thing, whatever it is, gold pendant or whatever. And Bruce
it's like, taking a look at the Veronica Vreeland jewels.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh no, I'm intending to give this to her to add to her collection. And Bruce is like, maybe, rumors of your reform are true.
Yes.
And then unfortunately, it all comes crashing down to Mr. Cobblepot.
Yeah.
What
happens?
So when we enter the final act, and he overhears the pompous Pierce saying, that fat bird wouldn't ever get invited to a party like this, and that's when we hear a big turn for Penguin and the whole episode.
Yeah, and it's also Veronica, because of the whole situation where she sees Penguin actually is a nice guy and he actually stood up for her. She actually was starting to feel something, and she wanted to express that, I think, to Pierce. But Pierce, of course, was repeating something they were saying previously, and Penguin overhears it. And when he hears what they're describing him as, he walks in and he's like, "Oh, don't forget my fine Roman nose." And then he starts using his umbrella and he gasses them, and he officially goes back into Penguin mode. From there, Batman has to, of course, come in and, take over.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me get down here. Oh, crap.
The joys of live podcasting right there. That's yes. What we deal with. But yeah, so after Veronica is taken, Penguin sends a bribe note to GCPD. He wants £1 million from their trust. Not just £1 million, £1 million from their trust. And he wants Pierce to make the drop. And Batman overhears this because it's taking place in Gordon's office. Of course, Batman overhears it. He hears everything in the city. Apart from in Birds of Prey, he's not there. But Batman overhears it, and he tells him to meet. And Pierce goes to a corner of this bar in what seems the dead of night. The phone box rings. He absolutely craps himself. So he answers it to the Penguin, and Penguin just says, "Take one step out of the booth, turn left, and keep walking." And he's like, "Oh, no, when I'm there." He's like, "Oh, you'll know." And then the trap is sprung for Pierce.
Poor Pierce.
Yeah.
And that's Pierce. He goes into a duck boat, right?
Yes, he does. Yeah, falls into the duck boat from the sewer.
A boat that takes Pierce to an opera house.
Yeah.
He's chained to a platform. Veronica's at a chandelier. And Penguin prepares to cut the rope holding the chandelier Veronica's chained to, which will kill both her and Pierce.
Yeah.
And Veronica, she tries to plead to Oswald, that she really was starting to feel for him. And, of course, Penguin refuses to believe her because at this point his heart's already broken and he already heard what he heard. A Batman, of course, arrives in time to stop them from killing. A fight goes on between Penguin and Batman. Penguin jumps into the fire-breathing dragon prop that's right there and tries to, he does set the opera house on fire. And then the rope that is holding the chandelier, of course, catches on fire, but Batman is able to save both Veronica and Pierce. Penguin, he continued to try to fight, but of course Batman is able to subdue him. And the police are able to take Penguin into custody. And Veronica again tells Penguin that she really was starting to grow a little fond of him.
Yeah.
And he, at this point, again, he's already too callous that he doesn't really care. And that's the end.
I mean, that line Penguin says, all we wanted was a little friendship. And that's a very cutting line, that is.
Yeah.
I think that's a brilliant line. And, as we said at the start of the episode, when he says... I guess it's true what they say. Society is to blame. They use high society.
High society.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. I mean, it's sort of an acknowledgement that he isn't a part of the high society as well. But in the end, since he's pinning the blame on that, I think it's a pretty good episode. This one.
Yeah, and also it's another perfect Penguin episode because throughout most of the best Penguin stories we see, he's someone that's split in between being an absolute freak in the world of the rich and wealthy because of his family. Yeah. He's always trying to be both. Like in Batman Returns, he's from the sewers, but he's trying to run for mayor and trying to prove to people he could be a normal human. And this, he's known as being a terrible thief, and he's trying to prove again, I could be a normal human in high society. Yeah. And it's always like that. It's always like he is torn between two worlds, Penguin. So it's interesting to always see that with his stories.
Yeah, it's very true, actually. Yeah, absolutely. So, what do you rate this episode out of 10?
6.5.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a big Penguin guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the story is good overall, but I like the message, but it's just the Penguin episode. I'm just never big on it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, absolutely.
You give it the same thing?
I'll go for a 7. I quite like
7,
it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a bit nostalgic because I used to have it on the VHS, and so I do quite like that. And I like the line at the end was like, "Who says opera has to be boring?" I mean, that's always the quote I remember in my head when I think about this episode. So. And when he's got that stupid opera Viking hat on or whatever it is, I think it's quite funny. But I do like Penguin. I love his patronising voice. I feel like there's 3 very different versions of the Penguin. You've got this very sort of high society, posh Penguin of the animated series, I call him. Then you've got the sewer Penguin of the Burtonverse, and then you've got the gritty crime boss Penguin of the Arkhamverse. All 3 are absolutely brilliant, but in so many different ways. So I think it's going to be fascinating to see how Matt Reeves portrays him in his new movie.
That will be interesting. I hope it goes the way of the Arkhamverse.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
I really enjoy that Penguin.
Yeah.
I even like that little voice box.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It is, and the glass jammed into his eye as well. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Now,
yeah,
I already did a shot on this. I know that you probably have something in mind if you already take it already.
I did, yes. I did the picture just before we came on air, finished it off. So, it's not particularly exciting. The picture I wanted to do didn't really.
Well, it's Penguin, so there's not too much articulation you can do.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very, very true, that is.
Now, in terms of figures, he tends not to be too many people's favorite, but we do a weekly thing where we pick our favorites. So, what is your favorite figure of the week, Scott?
This was a tough one, but I've got a picture. I've done one picture of him this week already with the Bat Family picture, and I got another picture of him coming up tomorrow. So, and I also played all the downloadable content of Arkham Knight this week and love doing it because I love this guy, Red Hood from Arkham Knight. He's the figure of the week. He is an absolutely incredible figure. GameStop exclusive. He costs an absolute fortune to get in the UK, but he is worth every penny. He's absolutely brilliant.
I rarely see that version.
It's an amazing figure. The detail's outstanding. The articulation's great. And the guns that he comes with are absolutely brilliant, which I regularly use them for the Arkham Knight as well. So, yeah.
Double elbow. That's impressive.
That figure's it's one of those 11 out of 10 figures. It really is. It's just brilliant.
Double knee, too?
Yeah, absolutely. Double knee joints.
Dang.
It's just absolutely fantastic figure. Yeah.
I like the ammo pouches on the side. That's so sick.
Yeah, it looks absolutely brilliant. Yeah, phenomenal figure. One of my all-time favourite Arkhamverse characters. He's just fantastic. Love that DLC that he's in as well, taking out Black Mask.
I hope we get some more Black Mask figures as a result of this.
Yes, definitely. I'd love to get a sight on this figure.
Only we won't blow him up.
Yes, we're not looking at
We'll keep him.
I really want that Mezco. Really want the Mezco Black Mask now. It's deeply annoying, but anyway, I'm not going to spend the money on that. So, what's your figure of the week then? What have you chose?
My favorite figure of the week is
Two-Face. Great choice.
I took a lot of figures. I took a lot of pictures of this figure this week.
Yeah.
Because of the episode and everything, and I just also from last week when we were doing Almost Got Him, I looked at a previous post I did, and I didn't have this version in there, so I'm looking forward to doing a redo of that picture with this guy. But also I'm stoked that we have him. We weren't going to get him, the articulations up to date and everything, but most importantly, I just think, and you have him too, the face sculpt is just so perfect and so spot on. It's brilliant, and he's a major character in Batman Animated Series. He has some great stories, and at least we didn't just have to rely on that crappy new Batman Adventure one. We finally got it.
So true. Yeah, that is incredibly true.
So that's my figure of the week.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Hopefully I have a new one next week that's a new figure and not someone that came out a while ago, but a new one.
Agreed. Yeah, same here. Agreed. Yeah, McFarlane needs to hurry up. But yeah, definitely. I know it's a cracking choice. Two-Face is brilliant. It's definitely one of the best capturing of the characters they have in that line.
Yes, and a lot of people's definitive Two-Face, even though a lot of people love Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, he was great, to be fair. But yeah, I think the animated series one takes the winnings on that one.
In my book, at least.
Yeah.
So, in terms of guest, we do have a guest that we know of at this point. We actually know who it's going to be. And it's going to be Toys Got Me at Toys Got Me. He's going to come on. I think it's going to be Wednesday. As of this time, it's what, Saturday?
Yes. Yeah, so something to look forward to for next week. We're looking forward to it.
Yes. So this will be up, of course, on YouTube, but the whole episode will be on audio after Wednesday. And we look forward to talking to you at Toys Got Me. So thank you guys for listening, and we will be back very, very shortly.